first year was a little rough. I didn't know anybody except for Maggie, and I just met her on the car ride here. But within the first couple of days, you know everybody, and it's just, you get to make friends so easily.
Like, I know last year I was kind of skeptic about coming here, but it's really a lot of fun, and the people here are really good. Like, you come here a stranger, and you could be, like, at the end of the week, you know, you could have a whole bunch of friends, right?
When I first got there, I was just sitting by myself, and 3 third years came and grabbed me, and they just made me feel right at home and just welcomed. It was really nice.
There was a lot of fourth years, and just how inviting they were. They just took you in under their wing, and you went with it.
First day, everybody's really tentative and nobody really wants to like put up their hand and answer, but you see by the end of the week, everybody's like, pick me, no, pick me.
Last year I didn't know anybody. It was a little bit scary, but they welcomed me in with open arms. And this year that's what I tried to do for everyone else. Tell them about the beach activities and the programs in the mornings, and the meals are delicious. And the grassy knoll time, obviously. A lot of people didn't understand that at first, but the first night when we got there and it's like grassy knoll hangout time, relaxed, you know, after a really busy day, everyone was just like, oh yeah, grassy knoll.
So yaks as well as counselors will take care of setup, cleanup, and snack.
Our group was the last one still bargaining because we didn't get enough grassy knoll time.
You're gonna come back with a counter proposal and then we kind of consider that.
Why don't we then counter proposal theirs and bring it down to what we actually want?
It was the most impressive part for me. It so closely approximates reality that it's real. They actually live what they've negotiated.
I like the collective bargaining. I like how the real guys do it. I like to see how the process is done.
Like, my opinions actually mattered, and like my thoughts mattered, and they used that. And actually one of the things that was used in the collective agreement was my proposition.
So you didn't have to go straight to your dorms. And then Article 2, we had in your dorms by 11.
Hand out the ballots. Vote yes if you accept it, no if you reject it.
You're still all equal in a way, so it teaches you how to be equal yet a leader.
Where everyone's so accepting, so nice, and like we fight against like isms and like racism, sexism, and so on. And
I knew racism was there, but I see it now more. Like, I would kind of just like not notice it as much. And it's definitely helped me like find the courage to stand up to some people when I see them being racist or bullying people.
We have a group at my school that's for gay people, but I never really knew what it was about. So I thought maybe if I go into this, I'll learn a little bit more about it.
You know, I would say the leader has to be really confident in what they're doing.
Me being openly out with my sexuality, it was so great to be able to educate everyone about it and to be in a room where finally I don't feel as if I'm a minority in it.
Yeah, there's stuff like about bullying being kind of an ism or part of an ism.
Last year when I came to camp when we did it, I didn't know there were so many isms in the world because we don't really get taught that in school. And coming here and learning about that, it's really insightful, and I enjoy it because you learn how to fight them.
I know whenever I know people are bullying people, and they think like it's just cool and stuff like that, I just tell them stop.
Everybody was part of the team. You're not part of a team when you're doing initiative tasks. You're all in this together.
And it, you know, it's all about fun, really. It doesn't matter how you do, but it was nice working together, and you know, nice kind of like, that's kind of a good way to like get to know people.
There was also the cooperation one where they tied your hands together to your partners, and it was great because you all had to work together as a team. Just the little things that make a difference in this camp.
Yak is a youth and activity coordinator.
We're actually in charge of planning a lot of the games and a lot of like the fun stuff that the kids do. We're the ones that dress up, goof off, and make kids laugh and stuff.
It's hard when they sometimes don't take you seriously because you're a camper, you know, once upon a time. It's always hard to get them to listen to you, but when they do listen to you, it's, you know, it's a great feeling.
I'm really proud to say that I enjoyed this just as much as a staff member as I did as a camper.
They make it fun when they teach things here. Like, they always have a happy tone, and you know, you can ask questions and you just feel like open to learn.
Thank you.
you're trying to be? Another man over there sitting under a tree. He hasn't got a thing going on, but he still stays strong, though his home's all gone. What you're doing is wrong.
Deadly.
It's a good balance. You get the morning sessions, you get to learn about things that you'll never learn in school. Teachers never tell you about the unions. And then being able to come to the beach and hang out, it gets you relaxed for the day, and you get that fun summer camp kind of feel.
Like minimum wage, I didn't know that last year. Do now.
You know, you're your own person, sort of, and you can't be like intimidated to stand up for something. And that's kind of the biggest thing I've drawn out of this, out of the whole thing. Like, don't kind of be their slave, right? You're just working for them. But if you feel unsafe, then, well, you gotta speak out, right?
Really just fight for your rights and just know what's right too. Stand up for yourself and don't be afraid.
I know a lot of counselors, it wasn't on their main list of music that they probably listen to, but just talking after the fact, a lot of them enjoy hip hop a lot more.
Go down to the old wood bridge, but there hasn't been any vision there since my dad was a kid. When my dad was a kid. Since my dad was a kid. And when my dad was a kid, my granddad was just a dad. You had to walk where you want to go. You couldn't call a cab. If you said you're gonna be there, then you'd be there for sure. Though you couldn't call him up and say maybe tomorrow.
Remarkable what they came up with. They all had great thoughts, and to put it down on paper and get up in front of everybody like that was amazing.
Okay. Hi, I'm Shelby. Nice to meet you. You feel like you can share the poem you wrote. How can you brag about your $1,000 purse? Maybe we should deal with poverty first.
The fact that the campers picked in high numbers the topic of materialism tells me that it's meaningful in their lives, and it's something that they have some anxiety about and questions about, and so our session was a chance for them to really finally bring it to the surface.
In a world that's upside down, we're trying to get around.
To people with no money, it's kind of offensive.
But that's not right. Who's gonna win the fight? People who didn't think they could write wrote songs, and that was the cool thing about it. And people who don't think they can make a difference can make a difference.
They're all like Yoda, away from Mickey.
Who am I? Just a figure of the media? Just another lie?
That morning when some of the people went up to the stage and did their rap that they wrote, that was a huge highlight for me. It just gave me shivers. I was so proud of
Start
everybody.
acting like yourselves, forget about the theories that fake and pretend to help.
Do a lot of things, you know? The armadillo sinks, you know? It sinks, it sinks.
It's always kind of the artist that points out the issue, and then people are able to relate to it, and it's easier to create a community through song or through art. It's definitely the frontier for a lot of movements.
The camp is totally not just about unions or activism. It's a lot about being yourself. Kids can come here and they do find themselves. They're comfortable in their own skin here, so their true beauty just shines here.
This is just home to me.
It makes you feel safe. Everybody feels okay that they're not being judged, and that's what's great, is that everybody is up there and they can do their thing and not have somebody in the back laughing at them because they think it's not cool.
Any of those like bullies or any of those people who harass you or who have done terrible things to you, like you don't need to worry about that when you come here.
My quote that I wrote on this, it says, the worst feeling is pretending you don't care about something when it's all you think about. Because that's true. When somebody's being bullied or something, someone will sit there, like a friend or something, they'll just sit there and be like, I really want to do something, but I can't because I don't want it to happen to me too. So then they're pretending they don't care, but it's really all they think about.
I love that rubber chicken.
This is a new rubber chicken. He was just born a couple days ago. And we're going to reenact the mysterious thieving of the original rubber chicken.
The whole youth movement inside the labor movement
is critical to our rejuvenation.
We get a huge amount of support from the affiliates. They send us donations, and they pay the time for the counselors to come out, and then they sponsor kids, so they help pay the registration fee of the kids. So it's really supported strongly by the affiliates.
At first, it wasn't even really on my radar, and I knew it was here, and I planned to send my daughter. And then at spring school this year, I took a leadership course. He pulled me aside and said, you should think about being a camp counselor. I said, I really think so? The more I thought about it, I thought, what's the worst that's going to happen? Coming into here, I feel these kids have really made my life better, and I'm happy I'm here.
Because you see those kids and they go off into the unions and they go off into the SFL labor and they do all that kind of stuff, and you really see that it does change people's views on everything.
We have literally, I think it must be thousands now, or over 1,000 now, people who've come through our camp over the course of 23 years. And they're out there doing things differently.
We've had stories from other campers that have gone to their parents and said, well, look, Mom and Dad, we're making a collective bargaining agreement tonight because we need to discover a better way to manage our relationship. Or your rules are too strict, or we should have an opportunity to negotiate. We've had students who, in their classrooms, have had arguments with their teachers about what real minimum wage legislation actually is, because the teachers have been uninformed, and the campers who have come from this camp are now saying, oh well, we had the opportunity to discuss this, and this is how it actually is. So then the student is up at the front of the classroom informing the other students as to various legislation. So yeah, they absolutely take something away from it, and they feel proud of it.
When a whole, I don't know, probably around 70 campers make a difference, we can make our friends, our family, our whole earth could make a difference.
Now you see the products of this camp out in the working world and what they've done in their community. It's rich.
Some kids will stay engaged with the labor movement, some won't. We hope kids will get engaged with their community, with their school, with an anti-racism group, with an anti-poverty group, with something. We hope that even just in their own families that things will change.
The future of the trade union movement will start here. It has to. These kids have all the right values, they just need a push in the right direction.
What's that mean? I'm very sad, and I wish I could just live here forever. And it just breaks my heart knowing that's my last day.
Today's the last full day. Dance, beach. I'm really sad that it's time to go. Hopefully I'll be back.
I think one of the reasons why this camp changes people the way that it does is because of the fact that we've been doing it for 23 years, and the spirit of every camper and every counselor and every yak and every recreation person that ever set foot in this camp is here. Waggy's here. And Bobby Jackson is here. For those of you who don't know, Bobby Jackson was an old railroader, or an Onto-Ottawa trekker that rode the rails in the Onto-Ottawa trek in 1935. And he came here and talked to this camp and told a story about what it was like in the Depression, going across Canada on the top of a rail car, fighting for work and wages. And that's the kind of spirit that's here. And so when people come here, it just infects you like crazy. And you know what? It doesn't matter if it's your first stick, your fourth stick, or your last stick. There's always going to be another one. It's always going to be another stick, another time. Because your spirit's always going to be here, just like every camper that's ever been here before.
You just fall in love with the camp and the people here and what these people do, the passion that they have for what they teach and everything. It's amazing.
I really think that this camp has a strong future with the people that they have here and the kids that they bring in. This thing's going to go for another 25 years.
And the interesting thing is we get probably 50% of our campers every year are returning campers. And people that are in the camping industry who do this as a profession tell us that that's a really high percentage of kids coming back. So must say that there's something here.
This what made my summer this year so far is coming to the camp. I was so pumped about this. It's counting down and everything.
I would tell them to come in a heartbeat. I've told everybody asks me at work, so what is this camp? And I say, It is fun, that's all you need to know.
Without this camp, I wouldn't want to be like what my job choice is. I wouldn't want to do what I want to do. And I owe this camp so much.
I had a blast. Thank you.
It's the best camp ever.
Yeah, if my mom can get me to come back, I'd love to come back.
Inspirational. I think it's a very inspiring place to be.
This is pretty much makes my whole year. It just, everybody together, and it makes you happy inside thinking about it.
23 years it's been in the making for this year right now, and it's just going to get better and better.
Tracy Mitchell in Saskatoon is huge.
Oh God! We want parties!
Oh,